Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and it's Floral Friday, and we're doing some practice flowers again. And this time we're doing a diptych. It's basically two panels next to each other. We're going to tape them down, and we're going to paint this. You know, it's a lot of fun to do this. You could do two, three, four. I'll show you how to go over this step by step. If you're a Patreon member, I decided to give you guys a traceable to go as a guide. It's not going to match this, but it's like a fun traceable. If not, you know, you don't have to use it. You can just go follow around with me. If you're not on my Patreon, it's a place I have ad-free videos, exclusive tutorials on Thursdays, live streams once a month, and traceables to go. I think I said that with YouTube. It's a place people go and support my channel, which I appreciate. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment section. Please don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial's up. Yeah, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun painting this. We're gonna just go over how to use a brush and move it around. So let's get painting. All right, guys, I'm going to go over my supplies. I have two 5-inch squares of Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper. I taped them down with Scotch tape on just a thick piece of cardboard. Paper towels, water jars, paints, brushes. I'll be playing around with my Princeton 8 long round, maybe my 4, and maybe my Grumbacher. This is like, you know, the diptychs are fun. It's triptychs. You can do 3 of these. Yeah, like I said, if you're a Patreon member, I have like a traceable over this. But like really, I want you to get used to practicing just being loose painting. So kind of like do it intuitively. What I mean by that is that you just kind of wing it, right? So I have a kind of a guide. If you want to have a kind of a guide that you want to have some of the flowers coming like here, I take a pencil going outward here, right? And you put like a petal here or two, and then a couple of things out this way. And then a petal over here, and then some petals here. You got kind of a guide. So you're gonna start from here and go out here. See, I have a pencil here, and here, right? And then you can just make some marks of like where you want some flowers to go, like that. Then it gives you a guide. So you can start by making the flower, or you can start by making the stems and leaves. And, you know, whatever colors work for you, whatever you feel like. I'm going to do a bunch of different colors. I mean, I don't know, maybe yellows, maybe purples. You could do complementary colors, yellow and purples. You can do pinks and oranges and yellows. I mean, this is the whole point of intuitive. You're kind of just winging it. I'm going to play around with color. I love this verditer blue that I have here. This is one of those colors I just love. And when you mix it with quinachradone magenta, you get this beautiful purple, right? I'm going to keep that kind of right there. I'm actually going to take some cadmium yellow deep and mix some magenta with that. Get like a pink tone, kind of like a blushy kind of color. Really water that down. I'm going to water that baby down. And I'm going to water down some burnt umber. So I suggest you get a bunch of colors ready. I'll have some greens ready. I'll grab my yellow. And then I'll put some peacock blue. It's a pretty bright green, right? I might want to add a little more yellow to that. And I'll have another darker green up here. Got that yellow over here. I'll grab some Prussian blue. It's good to have all the colors mixed up. I'll add some burnt umber to that. A little more Prussian blue. Got a deep color there. You see how I've got all these kind of colors kind of going here? So I cleaned off my brush. I got the Princeton 8 long round. And now I'm going to take this blushy tone. Maybe a little more yellow, actually. It's like orangey. Mixing up again. See if I like it. Yeah, really pale. So put a lot of water in there. And then we're going to start off doing some strokes, right? So I've talked about this 1,000 times. I have so many videos on this. Just kind of pushing up and over like this movement. Up and over, really loose. It's kind of like this back and forth movement with a little swooping to it. I want you guys to get used to painting without following a traceable line. I just threw the lines in there just for guidance, but you see? And I'm just kind of pushing that brush around to get those petals. Boom! I want to balance it. Now, this great thing about doing this kind of thing is that if you can frame it as like two pictures, but if you want to just give them away, you've created two pictures like that. So you can have two people you can give away your paintings to. So again, this is swooping and scooping and up and down, swooping and up and down kind of movement, just like this. And then like another one like this. This one has a little more color on it. You see that? I'm bleeding a little more color. I can go and grab some brown. I'm bleeding a little brown in here in the center. You can also start off, instead of doing the petals first, you can start off doing the center first. So I'm going to take some cadmium yellow deep here, mix a little brown. All right. I don't like where the brown is bleeding into this flower, so I might just remove it. Just going to remove some of that brown. All right, so I'm going to take the yellow. You can just do the yellow center. And all I'm doing is I'll show you. Little marks like that. Tap, tap, tap. Get the center. All right, you could do another one here. Tap, tap, tap. Maybe add a little brown to that on the edges. Boosh. And then you can go and grab whatever color you want. The blush. I might just grab that pale verditer blue mixed with some of that purple. And I'm making just these petals. See that going into that. Don't worry if it gets a little muddy. Kind of liking the color it's creating. Just these rounded petals, see that? This is not a particular flower, just creating one. Get used to them making different shapes just by rounding it like that, see? So that's another way you can start. Again, you can go in and add some pretty ultramarine, mix in with that. Just to change up the blue a little bit. Not necessary, but because it got a little more gray, which is fine. I might remove some of the color. Make it a little more delicate. So that's just how you do it. You're just going to go back and forth now that you have your positions, right? And you can do some yellow flowers, just simple yellow daisy here. Up and down movement. Let that dry. Maybe I'll throw another one over here to complement that side. I'm going to work on some more flowers, more on the red poppy kind of tone. I'll add more pink to that, more yellow. So it's a brighter color here. I think I'll put another, again, see? Just kind of wiggling this paintbrush like this on its side. Get a little deeper with that yellow. Get more of a red tone. Just like that. I can add another little small one here. See, I just did a bigger petal and a little petal here and a little teeny one right there. Just like that. Again, you can add one over here. Just wiggling this brush around. This and another one that's small. At this point, I might add in some leaves. I'm just going to fix this by adding in some more color. See? Again, from the center outward. Add more color. So you can stick with the same brush. I'm going to grab the smaller one. This is the Princeton 4. And I've got the greens that I talked about. And you can just add the stems. It's getting used to the movement of the brush. Up and down, real loose. Connect this one over here. See? Now we've connected it. Just like this. Boosh. This is the green stems. And you get that pale green. Just get used to like having fun back and forth. Here we go. Right? Now I've just got skinny stems in here. We'll add in some pretty leaves. Just want to get the feel of where the stem's going to go. And you might have another one that comes way out here and bends down. Right? Or you can have one over here that bends up that one. That's pretty skinny. We're just making this fun little wild kind of crazy painting. Go back and grab your bigger brush, and then you can make the leaves. Adding a different color tone, greens here. So it's an up and down movement. Up and push down. Just like that. Push your paintbrush. Up, push down. So you get that dry brush because it didn't hit that area, which I love. You can do little ones off this one. Boop, 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 boop. Again, the opposite way, you're pushing down and going back. Again, up and push down, right? Up and push down. And then kind of go back and fill it. And it looks a little more natural. You can put a leaf just kind of creeping up in here on the bottom, over in here. A little dark one. Adding some dark leaves. You see? Intuitively. You're kind of playing around with adding color. You can add some just right on Prussian blue with that green we had there, a little brown. I just went like that. Make some leaves. And you're getting that wild, kind of crazy, loose wildflower look. Like I said, you can put one up here in between, kind of just bringing down. And going back over here. So they kind of flow together. Put some brown stems in if you want. Woo! Some branches off this one. See that? Could do some branches off this one. And again, just go in here and put some nice leaves. Coming down from this flower. This is how we do this fun stuff, guys. I want you to get used to pushing that paintbrush down and up and down. When people say, oh, I can't do this, beginner. Of course you can, you just play around with the brush. We have these practice drills for a reason. See, I'm going in and adding little leaves to some of the skinny little stems here. And we can add some little, I call them ditzy flowers, small little flowers. We haven't touched the top of the daisy yet. We'll add that top of that. You can add a really, like, almost realistic kind of little flower too in the front. Gonna add some more green leaves here, or add just perfect little leaves on one of them. See, I'm making some perfect little tiny leaves. Can do that on this little branch. Just these simple little leaves. It just changes it. You know, you're like so used to seeing the wild leaves, and then you add a couple of little delicate ones. It will change your design. We're still building this whole area here. Obviously, you can see it's gravitating towards the center. I'm building up some more light greens. I'll add in some bigger leaves, just like so. And then get some darker ones with some bluish tones to it. Just like this. See, building up my foliage with color. You literally can just go take some Prussian blue and just kind of fill in this section here. My eye is going like this, right? And then you want to balance it out here somewhere. So we'll add some blue leaves this way and up this way. So your eye is kind of going back and forth, back and forth. just like that. You see? Sometimes you gotta know when to stop. So I think I've got a lot in there. And now I'm gonna go add another little color, because we're doing this wild kind of flower. So I decided it was gonna be like pale and pretty and delicate. Now I'm like, nope, let's get bold, right? So I've got the verditer blue, purple. We could just put in some little purple flowers here. Basically just dropping in the color. Nope, that one's pink. Go over it with the verditer blue. Make it purple. Just kind of pushing that paintbrush around, kind of like wiggly dots all along the side of this branch. Nothing special, but it looks like a wildflower, right? We do the same thing with this one over here. Just like wiggly dots. That's what I call them. And then for this one over here, little lines, doot, 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 like that. And you get that bright verditer blue, and we'll complement it over this side, doing the same thing. See, we're building and building and building. You could put some more of that blue peeking through in other areas over here. Maybe down in here too. Look at all the fun we have. This is all dry now. You can make like a nice pretty blackish brown for the black-eyed Susan, type daisy. And over here, just a little cap, little round circle goes right on there. Like I said, this is not rocket science. You're just kind of maneuvering paint around and the brush. Now this I don't even know if you call it a poppy, whatever, just like an open flower, needs a little something something. So I grab some darker tones and I'm just going to take it and kind of wiggle some sprays from the center outward. You don't always touch the sides. You touch, see, I didn't touch the sides in all of these, just in some of them. Otherwise it looks kind of fake. Go back in again with this one. You can get the color even deeper if you want to. Just playing around with adding that color. Now this doesn't seem like be much of a pink anywhere else, right? I'm actually going to water this down, kind of push this paint around in here. So I feel like we should add some pink. You want to kind of balance. I mean, there's that blushy kind of color. Might just put another little one over in here. We got the red, and we got that pale blush. We can just stick another little one over in here. We're getting close to the end here, guys. Go grab some of that yellow again for the center. Just kind of push it around here. When that dries, we can go in and add some detail to that. And we only have 2 yellow daisies. We could go back in and add more if we wanted to, like one peeking through some areas over in here. Doesn't necessarily be to do that. You don't have to do that. A little more yellow here. And that blue, I got a little muddy. It's just a couple of ways to get you out of your comfort zone, practicing again. I do want to make that blushy color again. Get a little more vibrant. Get like 4 layers in here. I like to do this little squiggle on the edge. See, squiggle, wiggle, wiggle, and then put some lines coming out this way. Do the same thing with this one. Now you could put a background blue color if you wanted to. I chose not to. And again, you can go back in and add more greens, bluish greens. Like this one, a little more bluish green. It's up to you. You want to play around with how you're going to do this. It's nice to have a variety of greens though, and some variety of leaves. It's always good to step back to once in a while and see if you like what you're doing. Might get a little darker in here with this leaf. Same thing here, because it's next to a blush tone, so it stands out more. You might not want to do that, which is fine. Get back in here. All right, it's always good to stand up. I'm going to stand up if I even like it. Yeah, we're getting there. Takes time to figure this stuff out. I'm adding a little another daisy in here. All right, for the center one, I'm just going to go highlight the circle area next to where the petals meet the center of it. So I'll grab some brown, maybe a little bit of black. Just make these little dots kind of next to it. Like on one side, going up. See that? And again, I'll fix this one down here too. This got a little muddy. You can go fix it. You can add some color back in here. If you feel like it just washed out, go in and add some bright red tones. Don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, so that's how we do that. We have our diptych, right? 2. And like I said, when you take them apart, well, you could give one picture to somebody, and maybe you can make it totally separate. Like on this side, it has the purple flowers, and this side did not. So you can make them a little bit more special that way. Adding in some more of this blue. Just putting in some of the color in here. Just washing a little bit of color. Just watercolor practice, guys. That's all it is. Putting in some purple. And that's that. So then we just lift up our tape and let's see what we got. Lift up our tape. And you can get real detailed with the center of the flowers if you want to. I'm just going to lift that up, hold that one down. Voila. So what I mean by that is that if you want to get really detailed with the center, see how it darkened up a little bit? You can go grab some concentrated yellow, really minimal water, go back in there. Or even just grab some, I have white gouache on the side, kind of mix that in there with that, and it will highlight it if you didn't get that yellow in there. And you highlight the color, just like so. So you can really see it. But there is our wildflower watercolor diptych, right? You can actually go like this too. Flip it around and see how it looks. You can frame it this way, right? Didn't think you could do that, could you? Or you could frame it this way. So really, guys, play around with it, doing things this way, you know, and just pushing the paint. I showed you how to do this. I'll have a traceable up for anybody on Patreon that's not this particular one, because I just kind of intuitively painted it, but one you can play around with, and then to get used to just adding a little more flowers. So here's the watercolor practice on Friday. I'm gonna get you guys painting some great loose wildflowers. So have a great weekend. Relax, enjoy your summer if you can. Don't stress about things. Don't turn on the news. Go outside, look at the flowers, paint, and, you know, enjoy. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.